Hello, Bill Molyneux here, and I'm at Brandywine Battlefield. And Brandywine Battlefield is in Pennsylvania, of course, near Philadelphia. And just doing a quick video here. Not sure how this will turn out, but I'm in their little museum. Very nice little museum. And Brandywine Battlefield gift shop is going to be carrying Bill Molyneux games, fast play war games. So if you're looking for a game of Battle of Brandywine, come here. So they have some very nice displays here. Here we have a really cool little diorama. Being that I'm a miniature war gamer and board gamer, I really love dioramas. Very well done. Okay, let's look around a little more. Here we have a British Grenadier. Our muskets. Hey, we have another diorama. So if you're in the Philly region, this is right off Route 1. It's 57 miles from my house, actually. I live off of Route 1. There's the meeting house. This little diorama is really cool. Let's go take a look at the Ferguson breech-loading rifle. Well, here's our breech-loading rifle. And of course, Patrick Ferguson, a British officer, came up with the idea of the breech lock unscrewing to be able to load it from the breech rather than from the front barrel. So, I'm going to hit the campaign map. Here we are at the campaign map, and I physically can't push the buttons and do the camera, so I guess we'll do it this way. We have the Battle of Brandywine, and then the Battle of Paoli, Germantown, and then Valley Forge. And you can buy the Battle of Brandywine game here at their gift shop, which includes Paoli, Valley Forge, and Germantown. The gift shop has a lot of neat books, a lot of good kids books, and they also carry games. Well, I've come outside from the Battlefield Museum. Sort of busy in there, and I don't want to be a nuisance with the camera. So, the battlefield is quite large, and a lot of it is, of course, overgrown with buildings. And but we have our artillery piece here. So this is where the visitor center, the gift shop, and I'm going to take some time and drive over to the two buildings here. The Plymouth Meeting House is way over, I don't know, 8 miles away, 7 miles away and such, and I'm not going to do that, but it's really peaceful here. So we're going to drive around a little bit. Well, I sort of lucked out. We don't have any tourists here at the moment at the Lafayette area in Washington's headquarters zone. Now, I'm not an expert on Brandywine, so if I make a mistake, don't come after me with pitchforks and torches. A lot of this video is for my good friend Jack out in Arizona. I don't think he'll make it out here to Brandywine Battlefield. Now, I took a tour last fall when the Andrew, I think it was, and we went over my board game, and he told me an interesting story about this tree. So we're going over to the tree. Now, the old legend is that when Lafayette, the young French officer, when he was wounded, they placed him against this tree to recuperate. However, according to, I think his name was Andrew, my tour guide, that was impossible, because at the point when Lafayette was wounded, this area was already being overrun. Now, when Lafayette came to visit, he did stop here at this farm, but as far as being wounded and leaned against this tree to recuperate, that may not have happened. It's one heck of a big tree. Now, VA Travels, Chris, he often mentions to bring bug spray. And I actually have bug spray in my car, and I used it. But if you do come out here to the battlefield, even though you're right near Philly, you will encounter bugs. So, one of the other things I was told, that this gigantic pizza oven, as he called it, did not exist. It would have been much smaller. So, we have a lot of neat outbuildings here. And due to time restraints, I'm not going to go to the Plymouth Meeting House. We'll walk over to the front of this building. And you know, I have people that watch my videos that this Brandywine Battlefield is much larger than you would think. You actually have to drive around to different locations. So John, up in Broome County, New York, you and all the sheriffs, deputies, and grab Tom Williams over in Owego and do a weekend adventure down here. I bet you could be here in 3.5 hours. So, I've got a little noise from the traffic. As everyone knows, my videos are not fancy. They're not like Chris from VA Travels or JD or Underground History. But I do what I can do to try to get people off the couch. So we're going to turn off the camera here and head over to another historic site. Well, here I am at, I guess, Washington's headquarters. And there are several cars here, so that means they're doing a tour. So I'm going to wait till everyone leaves to get close to the house, probably. But another part of the battlefield, this building here is within sight of the visitor center. And by the way, they have several huge flagpoles with American flag. And unfortunately, they're at half staff. And as I travel the country, visiting historic sites and talking to people about my historic games, it's sort of depressing that more and more often I see the flags at half staff. So, but continuing on, here we have the Spring House. For people that don't know what the Spring House is, this is basically your refrigerator of the colonial era. You would, quite often there would be a spring running through, and it would keep your milk and cheese cold, And the Dobbin House in Gettysburg has the Spring House Tavern, and that still flowing through there. So I'm going to gently walk around the building without disturbing the tour. And so I'm going to pause the camera here. And Jack in Arizona, I know it's really hot there, but it's a bit warm here today too. So here we are a little closer, and the door is open. I know they're doing a tour in there, so I don't want to do anything to disrupt the historian giving his talk on the building. So I'm going to keep my distance. Pretty sturdy. Let's zip around to the front. This road you see out in front, it's Route 1, and it's a busy main artery. Well, here's the front of our house, and yes, it's a bit noisy. I'll gently move our camera, and literally Route 1 is right there, and that batch of woods is where the Brandywine Creek is. Now, pretty cool. And I apologize if I'm jumbly with the camera. And here we are on the other side of the building. You got your garden, and food was an issue to make it taste good in that time period. During the colonial era, everyone had their herb garden. Getting spices and all from the Orient was an issue. So you have your herbs, and I know my wife Lisa, the superior one, she actually has some herbs growing on the side of our plants by our kitchen on the back porch. Well, I'll do a little bit more video work here, but this is not a military video as much as just a little bit of the battlefield. It's impossible for me to give you a battlefield tour of the way this battlefield is spread out. But there are many YouTube channels that have videos. Quickly, Washington gets flanked. The British cross the Brandywine Creek further up from this area, and starts to roll them up like a wet blanket. But the American Army withdraws and survives, which is really miraculous. So, and they continue on. I think I'm going to conclude my video, and come visit Brandywine Battlefield, located by Longwood Gardens in not very far from Delaware, and Philadelphia is right down the road, and I live right up the road, 57 miles up Route 1 myself. So if you're in the area, get off the couch, come and visit Brandywine. They're open Fridays, Saturdays, and thank you for watching my video. Come to the gift shop and buy one of my board games. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and thank you again for watching a video on Bill's History and Wargaming World.